Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you watched my last video, you saw a more full glam look with a mix of higher end products and lower end products. So today I wanted to show you a video with a more everyday look that you can get in like 15 minutes. And also all of the products that I'm going to be using today are from the drugstore lower end price point for you guys. I know when I first started looking for makeup and looking at stuff on YouTube, I really had no idea what I was doing, and trying to find good quality stuff for a lower price point was really hard. So I want to try to help you guys out. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy it. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and if you really want to, hit that notification bell. You'll be notified whenever I upload. And without further ado, let's jump into the video. So today I'm going to start out with my base makeup. Sometimes I start with my eyes when I'm getting ready for work in the morning. I have like 10 to 15 minutes to get ready, and I start with my base. So the first thing I'm going to be using is this e.l.f. primer. It's the Hydrating Face Primer, and it is $6. So that's pretty good. There's not a lot of product in here, I will tell you that. This bottle is a lie. e.l.f., I see you lying to me about there's literally like this much maybe that's in there. I see you, e.l.f. False advertising. We don't like it. Anyway, I use this little, I don't know, it's not even a dime size amount, it's like a little pea size amount. Put it on my fingers, rub it, and then I just put it all over my face. Just like that. I let it dry down for a second. This primer kind of has a weird smell. I'm not a fan of the smell. Sorry. But it does do a good job, and it keeps your makeup in place, and I have some dry, patchy areas, so it kind of helps the foundation and stuff not cling to it. So then I'm going to use the L'Oreal Infallible 24-hour fresh wear foundation, and this stuff, I think it ranges from like $12, I think is what it is, and I'm using the shade 420. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to give it a little shake, and I'm going to put about 2, maybe. Don't do me like that. Okay, so I'm going to put about that much on my hand, because that was like a million pumps, because apparently I'm running out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my finger, I'm going to dot it all over my face. Oh, I got way too much. Oops. This stuff is pretty full coverage. I use this stuff because, again, I have dry patches, and the matte stuff would just cling to it. This stuff is really good. I'm just using an IT Cosmetics buffing brush. You can use whatever brush you want. If you want to use a sponge, a buffing brush. I like these kinds of brushes, or a sponge. That's just my preference. I'm just going to buff it in. I will say that you have to work pretty quickly with this foundation, because it will dry down really quickly. And so you kind of have to get it in there. Normally I would use a sponge for foundation, but because this stuff dries down so quickly, and like last time I used it, it left like a streak on my forehead because I didn't get to that spot quick enough. So I'm going to use a brush because it goes faster, and I'm just going to blend it. I would say it's more of a medium to full coverage. I wouldn't say that it's like bam, you're covered, because like I've got a blemish right here that you can still see, and one on my nose that you can still kind of see. So you can build it. It is buildable, so if you have problem areas, you can definitely go in and touch them up for sure. And then I'm going to go in with concealer, and I'm using the ColourPop Pretty Fresh concealer. This stuff is $9. You can get it at Ulta, so it's not at Walmart, but it is in the drugstore section at Ulta. I have really dry under eyes for some reason. Like that's where I'm the driest. Oh, and I'm using the shade Fair 20N. But this stuff has hyaluronic acid in it, and so if you have any dry patches, it will not cling to them and it'll actually help moisturize it a little bit. And then I'm going to use that same buffing brush and I'm just going to go under, kind of cover my eye with it. It'll prep my eyes for when I do my shadow. And this stuff has pretty good coverage, so it'll cover any blemishes you have. And I will say the spots that I have on my face right now are pretty red, and so it's kind of hard to cover red spots even with a full coverage foundation. They always seem to poke through. So if you see blemishes, it's not necessarily the makeup, it's just that my skin is stupid and I've got red spots on my face. So then I've got all my base done. I'm going to set it with this Wet n Wild Photofocus translucent powder. This stuff is like, let's see, it's $5.99 and you get this like big old thing. So this is definitely worth the money. There's no flashback. It doesn't, like, you can't tell that you have a bunch of powder on your face. I'm just using this BH Cosmetics fluffy brush. I'm just gonna dip it in here. And this stuff lasts forever. Like, I think I bought that jar in, I wanna say it was like June. And I still have a bunch left and we're mid-April now, so, and I use it every day, like, no joke. Every day it gets put on my face. So I just dab it all over, because I kind of have, I have dry patches, but I also have some oily patches. I have combination skin. So if you guys have combination skin, I recommend not getting a matte foundation because it will cling to your dry patches, and if you have oily patches, you can just throw a little bit more of this stuff on there and really set those oily spots, because you don't want things to cling to your dry patches. So if you have a dry patch, like I have one here, I typically just don't even set that very much. So I recommend not getting a matte foundation if you have dry or combination skin, because you can set things with powder and it's way better than having matte foundation everywhere and clinging to your dry patches. That's just my personal thing. I'm not a professional, so if someone else has said something and it works for you, that's fine. Good for you. Okay, now I'm going to be going in with the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. This is not the cheapest bronzer at the drugstore. It's the only drugstore one I have right now. It's like $12 to $13 for this. It is a really nice bronzer and it gives you a nice kind of summery glow, but there are definitely cheaper ones. If you guys want to know, let me know in the comments and I will do another video and I'll go look for a really good drugstore bronzer for a much better price point. And don't get me wrong, $12 is not bad for a bronzer, but it could be better. So I'm just taking this EcoTools fluffy brush. Any big fluffy brush you have will work. And I'm just gonna go on the points of my face, my jawline, and it's really, the shade that I have, it takes a lot for this stuff to show up really well on the skin. So that's kind of, it's nice, it's subtle, but I have a little bit of beef with it because it doesn't really show up on the skin. Like, the color in the pan, you guys see that, is not what color comes off on the skin at all. And I've noticed that's what other people have said too. It's like, yeah, it's a nice bronzer, it's got a nice finish, it smells really good. It's, oh, it smells like heaven. But you have to build it a lot if you want a really intense contour. So if you don't like an intense contour, this is perfect for you. If you like to define certain areas more, I wouldn't recommend this one for you. You can build it, it's just, it's a high price point for having to pack a lot of product on. So in my next video that I do of drugstore stuff, I'll try to find one if I can get into Walmart because, you know, quarantine. And I'll find one that's better. But I do love that one. It's good for your skin. I will say that. It's got fantastic ingredients. Okay, I talked about that for a long time. Moving on, I've got the Milani 02 Floral Fantasy Blush Palette, and this palette is $11. But you can get their other blushes just like singles, and they come in a pan about this size, and they're like $7 for a single one, so that's not bad at all. And let's be real, nobody uses that much blush. They last forever. Today I'm gonna go in with this middle shade right here, and I'm using this angled brush from BH Cosmetics. I'm just gonna apply that to the apples of my cheeks. And I'm not a huge blush person, so you can go in, it's very buildable. It's not like bam and then you have to blend it out for years because now you have like a clown face. It's super, super easy to build, to blend. It's a perfect blush palette. You can make it super intense if you want, but it also can be just super subtle and pretty, and that's what I prefer. So I really love that blush palette. Next I'm moving on to highlight, and this is the Wet n Wild highlighting powder, and this is the shade 321B, the Precious Petals one. And I got this brush at the dollar store like 3 years ago, I think. And it's a Wet n Wild brush, and it's just a fluffy brush. This highlighting powder is $5. It is so beautiful. It gives you like just the perfect glow. Like, you guys see that? Look at the difference. Like $5 for a pan this size. Are you kidding me? Yes, please. They've got some other beautiful shades. This one's my favorite. I haven't tried any other shades, but this is my favorite. So yeah, I just highlight the high points of my face, my nose, and my Cupid's bow. So this, $5, guys. A highlight will last you forever. I've had this one for like 2 years. I know you're not supposed to keep makeup for that long, but it's a powder, it's fine. Nobody cares. No one listens to expiration dates anyway, except on food. Okay, so now that I have that done, I'm gonna do brows, and I'm gonna hop off camera and do those, and then I'll come back and do the eyes, but I'll tell you what I'm using. I'm using the Morphe Brow Cream in the shade Latte, and this is $6 at Ulta. It's not at Walmart or the drugstore or anything like that, but $6, and it has a ton of product, and you don't need to use a lot, so it's amazing. And I'm just using a Morphe angled brush and spoolie to apply it. So I'll be right back, and then we'll move on to eyes. Okay, so now I have my brows on, and this one's looking a little crazy today. If you guys want to see how I normally do my brows, you can hop on to my last video, and I'll give you a whole tutorial, but that never changes, and I feel like it's boring to just watch me do the same exact thing every single time. So, if you want to see how I do it, hop on to my last video. For eyeshadow, I'm going to be using the Flower Beauty, see this one is Shimmer and Shade eyeshadow palette in Warm and Neutral. I really enjoy these palettes. They are $15, so that's pretty good for an eyeshadow palette. I will say, just because I love Morphe so much, their palettes, you get more bang for your buck, and the quality is a little better, but this is still good for drugstore. And it even comes with this little brush, and so they claim that it's like a $6 brush, and you get it for free in the palette. So $15 for a palette and a brush, that's pretty good. These brushes are actually pretty good. I use a more fluffy brush when I'm blending things, but to get detail and stuff, I actually really like these brushes. They're super soft, and they feel really good on the eyes. They don't tug or anything, so this is, I mean, if you get the palette, this is a really good bonus that they throw in there for you. So I've got my fluffy brush from Morphe. I'm gonna do a really simple eye look. This is what I would do if I were going to work. I'm going to do a little more of a pink shade, still natural, but a little more color. I'm going to be going in with this shade right here. I just say that it's number 3. So shade number 3, I'm going in with that with this fluffy brush. I will say that the pan sizes, it's hard to fit a fluffy brush in there. I'm actually picking up colors from this one and this one, so it's probably why they have this smaller brush. But it's all right. It works still. So I'm just gonna tap off the excess, and I'm gonna go in and just apply it all over my lid, up to my brow. Just add a little bit more. These are pretty pigmented shadows. They're super soft and creamy. They blend really well. I actually really enjoy these shadows, so I recommend it for sure. They have a few other palettes as well. There's one, I think it's got some blues in it, and then I have another one, and it's more of like a browns, gold, champagne. But since my last look was with that, I decided to do a little more pinky, taupey look. So just packing that in there. And then what I'm going to do, because like in my last video I said, I never go without a little shimmer on the lids. So I'm going to go in with this last one, shade number 10, and I'm just going to pop that on my finger. And it's kind of a cool, like, iridescent, I don't know, it's just cool. I'm going to pop that on my lids for just a little bit of a sheen. It's not super intense, but it's still pretty. And then with their smaller brush, I'm gonna go in with this little bit darker purple right there, shade number 4, and I'm just gonna tap it into the outer corner a little bit, just blend it to deepen that outer V. I like to do that just a little bit. And then I'm gonna take that first fluffy brush and I'm going to blend it all together. So we have a nice seamless blend. And then it does, I don't know if you guys can see it, there's a little bit of fallout right there. So I'm just gonna take the powder brush that I used and just dust it away. And there's that. And then I'm gonna pop on some eyeliner. I've got this Milani, that's ratchet nail, Stay Put Matte 17-Hour Liquid Wear eyeliner. I get the shade black. They've got a brown, a blue, there's one other color, but I can't remember what it is. And it is $7. And this is by far my favorite eyeliner that I've used. It doesn't smudge. It's, when they say it's matte, it's super matte. And it's really black. And I like to do a lot of glitter and shimmer, and this covers it. I know a lot of drugstore eyeliners, for some reason, they can't like go over shimmers or glitters or anything like that, but this does a really, really good job. So this has definitely become my favorite liquid liner ever. So I'm gonna start at the corner and go out just like last time. And I like to rest my hand on my face to kind of stabilize my hand, that way I can get a nice sharp precise line. And then go to the outer corner, up towards the tail of my brow, and back in. So there's that. There's one eye. I'm gonna hop off camera and do the other eye really quick, and then I'll be back for mascara. Okay, so now that I have the other eye, I'm gonna just do a quick little lower lash line shadow. So I'm gonna take this flat, dense smudging brush from Morphe, and I'm just gonna dip into that first shade that we used, shade number 3. I'm just gonna dip it in there a little bit tap off the excess. I will say this palette does have a lot of fallout. Like, I'll show you guys when I tap it. You guys see that? So there is a lot of fallout, so just if you're getting ready for an event and you've got like a dress or something on, maybe cover so you don't get a bunch of makeup on it. Just some thoughts. So I'm just gonna go in that lower lash line. And we're done with that. So now I'm gonna go ahead and apply some mascara, and I've got this e.l.f. eyelash curler. This is $3, and it's definitely my favorite one that I've ever used. And then for mascara, I'm gonna be using the L'Oreal Lash Paradise, and this is like a $12 mascara. So it's really awesome. It does amazing things to my lashes. Like I said in my last video, it is a dupe for the Better Than Sex mascara. It is a little bit different, obviously, but it's way cheaper and you get just about the same effect. So I'm just gonna pop this on. And then do my other eye. And then normally, like an everyday look, I don't put on lashes, so I'll just go in with a second coat of mascara and then call it good. But I have naturally long curly lashes, so that's all I need. I know some people who use this and they have shorter lashes, and it does amazing things for their lashes too. So this is just a fantastic all-around mascara for everyone. So yeah, I will say when you first get it, a lot of product comes off onto this, and so a lot of times I will scrape off the excess because then it'll start like flaking onto your skin because it's just so much product on there. But that's the only issue I've ever had with it, is that there's just so much product on that applicator first. So now that we're done with the eyes, I'm gonna jump onto lips, and that's our last thing. So I'm gonna use the NYX Duochromatic Lip Gloss. Typically, I don't use a liquid lip every day. When I start my makeup in the morning, I'll put on chapstick, and then I will add like a gloss just for some color. And this stuff is $8 for this tube, so that's pretty good. I like the NYX lip products. They're not sticky. And so just apply it, rub your lips together, and you guys can see there's no like sticky, stringy stuff that a lot of glosses have, so that's what I really like about this. And it's just a really pretty, I mean, the duochromatic thing is super cool. So that is our finished look. You can kind of see that it's just a nice, really quick, I say quick and I've been here for like a half hour, but if you get these products and get your routine down, it'll take you like 10 to 15 minutes to get ready. And obviously you can skip whatever steps you want. You don't have to do a winged liner. You don't have to do a liner at all. You don't need to do a contour. Whatever you want, take it or leave it. But I wanted to give you guys some nice affordable products that I really like and that I have seen perform really well. I have worn these shadows and they last all day. This foundation is one of my favorite drugstore foundations. It lasts all day. I wore it on my wedding day in 85-degree weather, and it lasted from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. So it's awesome. This concealer is great. It doesn't crease too bad and it stays on all day. So yeah, overall this is really long-lasting makeup for a much cheaper price than you would get, say, at like Sephora or just ordering off their websites. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you do, please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment down below of what you would like to see next time, and I will see you all in my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.